Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. This is Ms. Sarwat Zakir, Islamic teacher for O levels. Today, as I know that you guys are running out of time, and in April you are going to have your final exams, and already some of them have given the mock exam, and some of you are still giving the mock exam, or still they are in the process. So today we are doing the most important topic of paper 1, question number 2, that is the compulsory question, and this is of 14 marks, right? This is the 14 marks question. 10 marks A part, and B part is of 4 marks, right? So today, right now, we are covering the topic A part, and then inshallah when we will complete the topic, then we will do the past papers also. The first thing in which this is compilation of Quran. Now compilation of Quran has 3 stages. This is the preservation of Quran, which is also called the collection of Quran, then compilation, and then standardization. So preservation or collection, this has been done only the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Compilation was done means the first time when Quran was brought into the form of a book. It was done during the time of Hazrat Abu Bakr's caliphate. And the third thing is the standardization of the Quran, which has been done in the time of Hazrat Usman Radiallahu Ta'ala anhu's caliphate, right? Now, when we talk about the collection and preservation of the Quran, so this was in the Prophet's lifetime. Now, we will start it from the beginning, that how, when, and we are doing it through what? What is basically the compilation of, what is basically the collection of Quran? Collection of Quran is only gathering the Quran or preserving the Quran in a written form. Means it is proven from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as like the words, actions, and the silent approval of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is also hadith and sunnah. So many people used to write the Quran in Makkah and in Medina also. So Prophet never objected on them. Even Prophet got happy when they were writing the Quran. So Quran was preserved in written form during the lifetime of the Prophet. So there is no room for bid'ah. Nobody can call it that was a bid'ah or that was the innovation in the Islam, right? So when the collection of Quran has been started, just after the first revelation, then we will do the second question, when. When it was started when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was 40 years of age, and he was living in Makkah, right? So after when he was around 35 years old, he started frequent visits towards the cave of Hira, and he was very upset with the practices of the people who were idol worshipping, who were gambling, who were taking usury interest, and who were involved in adultery and so many other bad things. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was always pondering about the righteous God, and he was finding the one God only, because he was somehow following the pattern of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was even unaware of that. When he was 40 years of the age, when he reached to the age of 40 years, means he was enough mature. Then he was at the in a same way, when he was doing the meditation in the cave of Hira, he received the first revelation, right? The first revelation he received over there, the first 5 verses of Suratul Alaq. Now you are not supposed to write the whole detail of the first revelation, because students sometimes do the mistake, because first revelation is totally a different question. When it is asked in CIE about the detail of the first revelation, then you are only supposed to write. Otherwise you don't need to write it. In the collection or the preservation, you are not supposed to write the detailed account of the first revelation, right? You will only be giving the reference of the first revelation, that first 5 verses of Surah Al-Alaq were revealed on this occasion, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this way received the revelation. After receiving the revelation, what was now? This is the first step, this is the second step, and now this is the third in sequence. Now I am here teaching you the sequence of the answer also. At the third place, you will be writing that when the verses used to be revealed, then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam started delivering it to his companions, right? He delivered these verses, he just tell these verses delivered to his companions, right? And now companions has 2 ways to learn these verses, to preserve these verses. Companion has 2 ways to preserve these verses. Which ways? Which 2 ways? The 2 ways were memorization, and other way was scribing. Scribing means writing, right? You can call it writing also. If scribing is looking difficult to you, then write only writing. So there were two ways to preserve the verses of the Quran. The first way was memorization, which was the most reliable for everyone, because people did not have the availability of the paper that time. So people used to memorize. It was easy for them to learn and to memorize, and Prophet himself was unlettered. We will not use the word uneducated or illiterate for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is totally the wrong term. We will use the word ummi or unlettered for him, because he was unable to write or read only, right? Otherwise he was the most educated person in the whole world, in the whole universe. So there were two ways. Prophet himself used to memorize, many other companions who used to memorize also, and who used to scribe also. Now the people who were memorizing, they were called huffaz. The people who were writing in Makkah, we are talking about Makkah, because there were two ways of the writing of the revelation. The one way was in Makkah and other was in Medina. Now in Makkah, Hazrat Ali was the main scribe, chief scribe or the main scribe, right? Main scribe was Hazrat Ali, and in Medina, Zaid bin Sabit was the main scribe. You should know that these names, otherwise your answer will not be completed, right? Zaid bin Sabit was the other scribe, and Hazrat Ali was the chief scribe in Makkah. There were two sort of scribes also. And in memorization, when we talk about memorization, used to be done in the house of Hazrat Arqam, which was called Dare Arqam, because in Makkah it was not possible for Muslims to go to Masjid-e-Haram or to go to Khana Kaaba, inside the Khana Kaaba, and to preach about the verses of the Quran. It was not possible. I hope you all know why it was not possible, because of the persecution and opposition, and Muslims were unable to open up with their Islam. So in the Hazrat Arqam's house was quite big, so he volunteered his house for the preaching, learning and teaching of Islam. So people used to memorize the Quran, and they used to take the verses, they used to learn from each other in the house of Hazrat Arqam, which was called Dar Arqam, which was the first Islamic institution as madrasa. It was giving the first concept of madrasa in Islam, right? Because in Hazrat Arqam's house, people used to learn, preach and teach Islam and Quran. So there were these ways. Now, how people used to write? Hazrat Ali only used to have the proper paper to write the Quran. He wrote the Quran on the proper paper, because paper was very expensive that time. It was available, but it was expensive and nobody could afford. Like mostly people could not afford it. But Hazrat Ali gathered the Quran in a way as it was revealed. It was not in the order which we have right now, as it was revealed, right? The order which we have right now, this is also the divine order. Allah himself told this order. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not set the Quran on this order, right? Like Surah Fatiha is in the beginning and Surah Nas is the last surah of the Quran. So this order is set by Allah, and the order of the revelation was Surah Alaq was the first 5 verses of the Surah Alaq were the first revelation, and the last revelation was some verses from Surah Al-Ma'idah. Today I have completed my religion upon you. So Quran is right now, it is on the divine order, right? Now in Medina, Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit used to write. In Makkah, Hazrat Ali used to write. So Hazrat Ali used to use the proper paper, but other companions in Makkah, they were unable to use the paper, so they used to write on leather pieces. There were some ways on which they used to write the Quran, like leather pieces, soft type of stones, leaves of palm tree, and bones of animals. There is an Arabic terminology for all these things also, but this terminology is not useful at all. And examiner, last time when I attended the workshop of the examiner of CIE, she herself told us that do not compel the students to use the Arabic terms for all these 4 things. Somehow we use the Arabic terms in many of the answers, but in this answer only these English words are acceptable, and you are going to get full marks for that. You are not going to get extra marks for writing the Arabic terms, right? So on these things Quran started being written. Now the Makkan, as I told you that the Makkan scribes was Hazrat Ali was the main scribe in Makkah, but there were some other scribes. Some of them was the most famous after Hazrat Ali was Abdullah bin Masud. Abdullah bin Masud, he was very famous scribe of the divine revelation. He used to learn the Quran and he used to memorize the Quran, and he used to recite the Quran in the same way as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite. When the first time it was said that who will be reciting the Quran in front of the Khana Kaaba, so Abdullah bin Masud himself volunteered that he will be reciting the Quran in front of the Kaaba. Even he was persecuted very badly because he was some of the poor people in Makkah, but he was not hesitated and he was not scared to recite the Quran in front of Kaaba, even though all of the persecution and opposition. So he has his own specialities. After Prophet Muhammad's migration, as I told you, that Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit was the one of the scribe. Now, what was the, now in this answer we will be writing another thing, that is number 4, and that is called sensation. Now, what is sensation? Sensation was feeling, right? In the sequence, sensation is coming on the number 4, and that was the feelings of the Prophet. How, when Quran used to be revealing, that time what were the feelings of the Prophet? He used to sweat in the winter, and he used to shiver in the summer. Shiver in summer and sweat in winter. That is totally different situation. And heavy body. He used to have heavy body when he used to have the Quran. When Quran used to be revealing on him, he used to have the heavy body. And the example of this we can associate that once that when his she camel, he was mounting on his she camel, when the Quran started revealing, his she camel could not stand it, and it had to be sit down. It could not be stand properly because of the weight of the revelation. So revelation was quite heavy. So Prophet used to have this sensation that he used to have sweating badly. Then after this, sometimes Prophet used to have the ringing bells, the sensation of ringing bells. The snooze sound used to be in his ears, right? So after that, there is some other scenario. After Prophet Muhammad's migration to Medina, the number of the scribes increased and they reached to 40. 40 scribes were appointed by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Zaid bin Sabit was the chief scribe of the divine revelation, right? There was some other scribe also, Hazrat Hanzala bin Rabi, he was also one of the famous scribe. And finally, it also comes after the sensations. Another point comes in this, that is Al-Irza. Al-Irza, this is the 5 point, means Prophet used to revise the Quran. Like Quran started revealing Al-Irza. Quran started revealing in 610, right? So after 610, every year in second Hijrah, Prophet spent 13 years in Makkah. In 13 years there was no Ramadan, right? Because Ramadan, the commandment of the fasting revealed in Medina in the second year of Hijrah. Does it make sense? So in Medina, second year of Hijrah, Ramadan started. So after second year of Hijrah, in Medina, when the commandment of the Ramadan, means fasting in the Ramadan, came, after that every year Prophet used to revise the Quran, review the Quran in the presence of Jibreel alayhi salam, as much as it was revealed, as per as it was revealed. That the Quran which was revealed, it used to be reviewed in the presence of Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam. Every Ramadan, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do that. Now 6 is Al-Irza Al-Akhirah. Now this is important. Al-Irza Al-Akhirah. These are the Arabic terms which you have to learn. Al-Irza Al-Akhirah is the 6th point, because in this Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam reviewed the Quran in the presence of last time of his life. Last Ramadan of his life, he reviewed the Quran 2 times. Right? 2 times he reviewed the Quran in the presence of Jibreel alayhi salam and Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit. Now you will know the importance of Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit, that in later years how Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit worked with Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar also, because he was the major evidence of the reviewing of Quran, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam compared his own Quran with the Quran which was in the memory of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet reviewed that memory and he shared that memory in the presence of Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam with Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit, so that now there was no mistake in the scribe of Hazrat booklet, or scribe you could say of Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit. So whatever he had written, whatever he had memorized, his memory was 100% absolutely okay. That is why now there was no doubts. Everybody was satisfied with the memory of Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit. That is why Quran was, because it was last time reviewed by Hazrat Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the presence of Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam. Then Hazrat Ali's manuscript, I told you that it was on the paper, and it was written as per the divine revelation, means Suratul Alaq till last verses of Surah, some verses from Surah Al-Ma'idah. Then there were some teachers of the Quran, amongst them like Hazrat Muaz bin Jabal was very famous. Write down the names. Teachers of the Quran, you can write, this is the 7 point. Right, 7 point, teachers of the Quran. That time in the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were some teachers of the Quran: Abu Musa Ashari, Muaz bin Jabal, and Zaid bin Sabit himself, and Abdullah bin Masud also. Write it down, Abdullah bin Masud, as I told you before. So these four, and another companion was there. He was also the teacher of Quran: Salim Maula Abi Huzaifa. So I told you the 5 names, right? This was the 5th one. Number 1, Zaid bin Sabit. Number 2, Hazrat Muaz bin Jabal. Number 3, Hazrat Abu Musa Ashari. Number 4, Hazrat Abdullah bin Masud. And number 5, Hazrat Salim Maula Abi Huzaifa. So these 5 were the teachers of the Quran, and they were very famous. And one more scribe you can add here. He was also the teacher of Quran. That was Ubay bin Ka'b. So 6 teachers of the Quran, 6 scribe or the memorizers of Quran, you can always write. Now there is the last point of this answer, that is the point number 8. And in 8 point you will be writing that about the nature of the Makki and Madni surah, nature of surahs. So here you will not be writing the detailed account. You will only be referring it to the nature of the Makki Madni surah. That nature of the Makki and Madni surahs was different. Makki surahs were short, Madni surahs were long. Makki surahs were addressing the whole humanity, like O mankind, O people, and the Madni surahs were addressing only the believers. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O believers, and O Muslims, Ya ayyuhal muslimuna, or Ya ayyuhal muslim. So the addressing words were in Medina were only believers or Muslims, but in Makkah addressing words were the whole humanity or the mankind. And Makki surahs were based on commandment. Madni surahs were based on commandments. However, Makki surahs were based on faith and beliefs, like articles of faith, like Day of Judgment and Tawheed, and like the life after death, and the predestination and decree, the belief in angels, and all the articles of faith, prophets and revealed books. So those were the articles of faith and beliefs were revealed in Makkah, and commandments were revealed in Medina. So these were the basic differences in the nature of the Makki Madni surah. There were some backgrounds of the surahs also. For example, Surah Kausar was revealed when prophets' male children died. Both of his sons died, and people started calling him Abtar. So Surah Kausar was revealed as to console him. And also Surah Ikhlas was revealed when Quraysh started asking that how your God looks like. So Allah revealed Surah Ikhlas to tell them that Allah is none like others, and He is unlike the human, or He begets not, nor is He begotten. So every surah has the particular background, and every surah has the particular detail. So this was the nature of the Makki and Madni surah. So this is the answer when you are asked for the full 10 marks answer of the preservation of the Quran. And there are the questions in the past paper which are based on the collection and on the preservation only, right? then you will be writing the full-fledged answer for the preservation and the collection. And this is very important for your understanding also, because if you will not be understanding the preservation or the collection, you will not be able to understand the compilation, right? So for the compilation, you would have to understand this topic also. If you would be having any query or any question or anything which is unclear, or you are not understanding that, please do write the comment and ask me. I will make a separate video for your questions, and I would, if I would be able, I would be giving you the written answer in on my channel also, right? Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you all.